You know, St. Louis is an incredible community. We're going to show some of the great leaders in our community, the businesses that are here, the groups, organizations, and charities that make it so awesome. We'll do this right here live for you on the Cardinal Cowboy Show. Giddy up!
Giddy up! Woo!
Hey there, it's the Cardinal Cowboy Show. My name is Paul Cook from CBS Radio St. Louis, Y98. So happy to have you here. You know, you've seen the Cardinal Cowboy around. You might not know the story behind this guy. He's got so many things going. He's my buddy, and I'm so happy I get to interview the guy who interviews all of these great clients and people. Tell me, how's it going with this new venture you got going?
Well, this is my passion. This is something that's close to my heart, and I really get to put the spotlight on some of the influential people in our community and share a little bit about what they do and how they make St. Louis the great city that it is.
As long as I've known you, you've had a passion about telling stories, you know, telling stories of people around you and lifting them up. And I really see that in this show. Tell me about, you know, I know, but let's hear a little bit about your past and things that have led up to who you are today.
Yeah, sure. The story goes back, really, you can trace it back to the early days. I first stole the Augie Busch red cowboy hat from my dad, and I said, you know, I'm going to wear this thing for fun. Fast forward to high school, I've got my high school prom picture with the hat. My dad said, why don't you put the hat on? Then we go through college, and I was playing summer baseball. St. Louis Amateur Baseball Association, SLABA, the competitive league that you played in.
SLABA, a lot of great players have come out of the SLABA league.
Yeah, SLABA is the premier, had been the premier league for a long time in St. Louis. If somebody played real competitive baseball, that's where they played. David Freese played there, Ryan Howard played there, Kyle McClellan, and there's a number of other guys that have come out of that league that are now in the big leagues. And you know, it's interesting, I was talking to David because I go to different events, and he was there, and I said, I understand you won the MVP for the league. And did you also win the MVP for your team then also? That means I've won the same award as Dave and Ryan Howard. And they said, yeah, that's the way it's done.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so that's one of my claims to fame. But I go away to college to play ball and then was hit by a drunk driver. Wow. And a lot of people don't know that's really where this kind of came from. But yeah, I was hit by a drunk driver, was on the side of the road after the accident. The ambulance is there, and it's about to pull away, and I start to have seizures. And they say, hey, throw the Cardinal Cowboy in the first ambulance ride, or else he might not make it. So I said if I hadn't had seizures at that moment to stop them to get me into the first ride.
Alert, hello, hello.
I started having seizures, they said put him in the first trip, and so therefore I survived that far.
Wow.
So I proceeded to go into a coma, and they said, we give you less than 50-50 odds, give Carter less than 50-50 odds to survive. So I'm in a coma at St. John's Mercy, and I pulled my arms out of the restraints, pull the ventilator out of my own throat, and they say, well, Carter's going to make it.
He is going to make it.
but you're probably going to have to take care of Carter for the rest of his life. So that was, my parents at that point were just happy they had somebody that, you know, their kid that was 19 years old at the time was going to survive, and they'll take care of me if they had to. But I was pretty bent on going after it and saying, hey, no, I'm not going to listen to the naysayers. I'm not going to listen to even the doctors, the experts. Stay home for a semester. I didn't stay home. I was out for 2 weeks, 1 week of that in a coma, 1 week of that just staying home. And I said, I'm just going to go for it no matter what. And that really has launched what now I believe is what the mantra of the Cardinal Cowboy is to prove that you can do anything you set your mind to.
I can imagine that putting everything into perspective. You're rolling along, college kid, the worries and maybe the petty things we worried about, and then boom, that happens. And you've always had this personal drive, and I think we can see why. Tell me about how it put it in perspective for you.
So that's why my perspective towards life has really changed towards, you know, you may not have gotten the grade, you didn't get the promotion, boyfriend or girlfriend broke up with you. Those are small things to overcome. If I can overcome this, you guys can overcome just about anything you set your mind to. And that's what we just try to pour into our audience.
You know, you just keep rolling, rediscovering yourself and finding new ways to get out there. Tell me where you go from there when you're the early Cardinal Cowboy days to now.
Yeah, the early Cardinal Cowboy days, people didn't understand what it was. They just thought it was something kind of fun. I just said, you know what? I should have been wearing the baseball pants out there to play. I had pants.
Yes.
So I'm going to wear the...
Totally makes sense now. That's it. That's why. Okay.
I'm going to wear the pants to the game, and we'll just have fun with it from there. So it's turned out to be something kind of fun, and it's all been positive. And my team has always been the Cardinals, you know. The real argument for this is that baseball saved my life. If it wasn't for baseball, I would not have had the drive to come out of what doctors said I wasn't going to recover from. Survive, then much less take care of myself.
And also thinking, you get hit by the drunk driver, you might need help your whole life, at least that was the talk, and you probably think, I got to go away from this thing I love so much, baseball. Well, I'm going to get involved somehow, and I think that's what's so brilliant about you.
Yeah, it was fun because, there were a number of hurdles. So I said, all right, if I can't make it as a professional baseball player, they don't draft you by the time I had recuperated. I said, you know what, I'm going to go off and try to do whatever I can. And I ended up graduating from St. Louis University, transferred back to SLU. Went and got a master's degree at Webster University. All of what's this guy? This isn't possible. But I got into this other sport called football and as a kicker. And so they said, well, as a kicker, you can start that off. And I was a rookie kicker at age 28 and walked on for the indoor team over here. At the time, I believe it was the Renegades. And I made it as the backup kicker. And then did that for a while and kicked in a number of different leagues and played semi-pro men's minor league, whatever you want to call it, and made All-American and kicked a few 50-yarders and got a call from the St. Louis Rams for a tryout and then made it as a professional indoor kicker. And so that was just where I'm like, okay, I can still accomplish it. You may not set that goal that's right in front of you, but you've been redirected to something else.
Yeah.
And go after that.
Obstacle, move around the obstacle, keep going.
And find what else it is that you can do. And that's what the whole message really is all about with the Cardinal Cowboy.
I love it, and I know you've done so many things for charities. I know you won awards for the unofficial mascot. In all of Major League Baseball, you've had some great awards in that, and a snapshot about you. Tell me about what you've got going right now and your passion with it.
So somebody tied in with one of the local news stations came to me and said, would you like to have a show on our station? I was like, wow, this is one of the top 4 broadcast national networks. I get to be on the local broadcast for them. This is a great idea. Here's my idea, what I'd like to do to highlight some of the businesses, charities, and organizations that really make St. Louis the great city that it is.
Exciting. Can't wait to see more. It's Turnabout. I get to interview the interviewer. It's Paul Cook on the Cardinal Cowboy Show. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it.
The Arch is world famous. We've got some leaders in St. Louis that do some incredible work to make St. Louis famous. Stay tuned. This is the Cardinal Cowboy Show.
Giddy up.